What's going on, friends? Harley-Davidson dealers all over the country are closing, including the large ones and the small ones alike. Now, one of the big benefits of riding a Harley-Davidson has always been this massive dealer network. Now, with all the dealerships closing, you might have found yourself having to travel farther to get anything for your Harley-Davidson, especially if you don't have any small local shops around and you are reliant on a dealer to get parts or maybe even service. So what is really going on with Harley-Davidson dealers, and why are they closing their doors one after another? Well, I can tell you one thing. Harley-Davidson has gotten so big, I think they truly don't believe that they can actually fail. Owning a Harley-Davidson dealership used to pretty much guarantee you a profit. Especially if you worked at a Harley-Davidson dealership, it almost guaranteed you a pretty secure job as well. Now, the obvious reason why a lot of Harley-Davidson dealers are having to shut down is just the fact that they're not able to really make any money and turn a profit anymore. Now, it goes a little deeper in the fact that the mothership at Harley-Davidson is pretty much forcing its own dealers out of business. And that's really sad because if you think about it, when there's less dealerships, which means you have to travel even farther, maybe an hour or more, kind of like I have to do myself now. Guys, please don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Harley-Davidson has slumped for years, but they had a pretty good resurgence back in 2020 when everything was locked down and you really couldn't go anywhere and do anything. Motorcycle sales were up, including with Harley-Davidson. Now, as we all know, that was pretty short-lived as interest rates skyrocketed and the sales pretty much plummeted after that point. Now, one thing you may not know is that Harley-Davidson dealerships do have to pay interest on the inventory that they hold in their stock. And a lot of Harley-Davidson dealerships out there were reporting basically having to pay $25,000 to $40,000 a month when they were already overstuffed with inventory that they just couldn't move. That is a huge cost to absorb. And that right there is exactly one other reason why Harley-Davidson dealers were really pissed off at Harley-Davidson for sending them a butt ton of motorcycles that they didn't even request. Dealerships trying to keep up with Harley-Davidson's Taj Mahal requirements for their showrooms, dealerships have millions of dollars invested into this, all while their profits and their sales are slumping, generally because of the things that Harley-Davidson's pushing down the pipe onto them. Now, Harley-Davidson made things even worse for the dealers with their online campaign on clothes, parts, accessories, everything that could be bought online. They were really undercutting their dealerships. Now, with all the Harley-Davidson dealerships closing, why would you drive an hour or more out of your way to get a t-shirt or maybe some parts or accessories you've been looking at when you can just get online, order it from Harley-Davidson, and have it delivered directly to your doorstep? And not to mention, you can order those parts and accessories and t-shirts online cheaper than you can purchase them in the dealers. This endeavor on Harley-Davidson with the online campaign has really hurt the dealership's foot traffic. How's a dealership supposed to sell a new motorcycle to somebody that just came in on a Saturday morning to kick tires, drink coffee, maybe buy a t-shirt or get a part or accessory for their Harley? If you don't have the foot traffic, there's nobody to sell the motorcycles to. You combine all this with Harley-Davidson basically forcing dealers to sink millions not only into their showrooms, but their parts and service departments, all while they watch their foot traffic and their sales dwindle and still trying to keep up with their interest payments month to month. It's no wonder that pretty much all the ma and pa Harley-Davidson shops are a thing of the past at this point. Inventory management from Harley-Davidson has been an absolute disaster. As I mentioned, Harley-Davidson forcing mass amounts of motorcycles onto dealerships that they cannot realistically sell, all under the threat of basically having their franchise pulled right out from under the dealership owner's feet. Now, dealerships finance these floor plans to have all these motorcycles on their showroom floors. And the fact that the inventory is piling up, you're making these interest payments, and you've got more units than you can sell, it's pretty easy to see even how somebody with a lot of money invested into a dealership that's done well for years and years can end up underwater in a hurry. And while all that's going on, Harley-Davidson is still undercutting the dealership's prices by 40 to 60% on clothing, parts, and accessories, which have really been healthy add-on items for dealerships with new motorcycle purchases or just day-to-day foot traffic in there to purchase these items. So I think now you kind of really are starting to see the big picture as to why Harley-Davidson dealerships are failing. It goes a lot further than they're just not selling motorcycles and they're just not turning a profit anymore. There's a lot of things at play here. The dealership business model has really become unsustainable. And what's sad is as much as we may dislike the dealers, this is the main source of getting Harley-Davidsons out to the people. It's even worse when you consider that Harley-Davidson shipped around 350,000 units worldwide in 2006, and then in 2024, they only shipped 150,000 units worldwide. Fewer motorcycles mean fewer sales, and with 650 dealerships still operating in the United States, that is a lot of competition just between the dealerships. This is why that is becoming very unsustainable as it sits right now. Between Harley-Davidson's corporate policies, lack of sales, not supporting the dealerships, that's pretty much driven just about any dealership that doesn't have a wealth of cash into the ground, and their only option is to close. The really sad part here is that a lot of the really good dealerships have managed to survive on customer service, taking care of everybody and making sure they have that good repeat business. That's worked for them for years, especially if they're a lower volume dealership. But in the end, even those dealerships are being absolutely crushed by Harley-Davidson's corporate policies. Guys, let me know down in the comments what you think about this. Do you think Harley-Davidson's going to be able to survive the way they're losing dealers, which is equaling less sales, less motorcycles, and less availability to more people? As they keep closing these dealerships, you're having to travel farther just to even get one. And that hurts too, especially if you're out on the road on a road trip a couple states away on your motorcycle and you have an issue. We all know there isn't a motorcycle repair shop on every corner like there is for cars. So at least if you ride a Harley-Davidson, you might find a dealership that's willing to help you out, especially if you have an older one. But as of right now, that's really starting to shrink as well. But guys, in the end, the new CEO just started, so we're going to have to see what he does, and only time will tell where we go from here. Don't forget, leave your opinion down in the comments. But anyhow, guys, that's all I've got for you this week. If you guys enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button, and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. But till next week, guys, you stay safe on the streets, ride smart, dodge those cars. I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.